Hello everybody, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be invited to say a few words at this groundbreaking ceremony for the Lowestoft Flood Risk Management Project to signal that this phase of the construction is getting underway. Now, as you all know, Lowestoft is the UK's most easterly town and it's the centre of the world's largest market for offshore wind. But we know that this key hub is at risk from the impacts of climate change and including the risk of increased flooding. Now, flood and coastal risk management is a high priority for this government, and I'm acutely aware of the impacts that flooding can have on communities, on homes and businesses, and crucially on people's mental health and well-being. Indeed, Lowestoft is no stranger to flooding, and sadly, during the December 2013 tidal surge, over 160 homes and businesses in the town were flooded. And in addition to this, road and rail networks were significantly disrupted. I don't have to remind you all of that. But this government is acting to drive down flood risk from every angle, and we're investing £5.2 billion over the next 6 years to better protect 336,000 properties from flooding and coastal erosion. Now, I was delighted in my role as Floods Minister to be able to confirm that as part of the Prime Minister's 10-point green plan on a green industrial recovery and revolution, as he calls it, the government will invest up to £170 million to bring forward work on shovel-ready flood defence schemes around the country. And of this £170 million, Lowestoft and the Flood Project was awarded just over £43 million to contribute to this government's ambitious plan to drive economic growth and better protect thousands of homes, businesses and jobs from the devastating impacts of flooding. Now, I want to congratulate East Suffolk Council for taking a long-term view to managing flood risk and recognising that flood risk management infrastructure can contribute to Lowestoft's future prosperity. This project will significantly reduce the risk of flooding from the sea to economic activity, jobs, key infrastructure and energy operations for 100 years, supporting the economic growth and regeneration of Lowestoft. Significantly, in terms of the numbers, it will reduce the risk of flooding to over 1,000 properties and better protect 14,000 jobs and 800 businesses for generations to come. And all of these are currently at risk from flooding from the sea, from rivers and from rain. So that demonstrates just how crucial this particular project is. It will also support the generation of 3,500 additional jobs directly, locally, and 8,000 further jobs nationally. And it will protect roads, bridges, the rail network, water treatment plants, IT and energy assets. Now, finally, I did want to give a special thank you and welcome to the partnership approach that got us to where we are today, and to take this opportunity to commend all of those involved in this project for their work in securing partnership contributions from a range of partners. And I cannot close without making reference to your fabulous local MP, Peter Aldous. He has been a constant and passionate spokesperson for his local community, and he has been a really terrific advocate for this particular flood scheme and its benefits to Lowestoft. So thank you so much, Peter. I know that you're there today. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but I did want to send this video to thank everybody and to wish you all well at the start of this scheme. And I really very much look forward to seeing how it progresses, seeing it come to fruition, and seeing all of those wider benefits that the town will get from this project. So good luck with it.
Can you can hear me, can everyone? Great. Right. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is extremely apt weather, and it does take me back to the 5th or the 6th of December 2013 when we had the storm surge, which actually I think was the thing which really brought forward this project. And that storm surge took place just over 60 years after the 1953 floods. And it's appropriate we're standing here because the 1953 floods, all the way along the East Coast, it was probably here in this very place, which was the beach village of Lowestoft, that it actually caused the most tremendous impact and actually destroyed a community. 60 years further on, we had a further reminder that whilst the sea does provide Lowestoft so much with it underpins its economy, it's also in many ways our most formidable foe. And if you look at the impact on that evening, well, London, the storm surged up London Road North, which is the heart of the town. I went round Bevan Street East on the Saturday. Small businesses absolutely devastated. Our railway line into the town was no longer a railway line, it was a canal. Lings, who had made an enormous investment in the town, their showroom, their vehicles were destroyed. You went into the Fife Centre, which provides sustenance and a roof over their head for some of the most vulnerable. They had to move out for months. There were fish found on the floors. And then people in Marine Parade, they looked out at the sea and said, we've got away with it, we're not affected. But behind them, the storm came up through their drains. It caused devastation. It destroyed people's businesses, destroyed people's homes and their possessions, and it took a long time for Lowestoft to get back on its feet. There were some great stories of the community rallying around those affected, but I think it brought very, very clear that we needed this flood defence scheme, and that's where we are here today. It's a scheme that has been a long time wait coming, because Lowestoft was one of the biggest town in the UK without formal flood defences. It's a scheme that has got three component parts. It's got the pluvial and fluvial works along the Tom Crisp Way, Aldwick Way, which is almost completed. There's the flood defence barrier, on which work is starting today and which will complete next year. And then there is the barrage, which will be completed in around about 2026. When finished, it is a scheme that will defend 1,500 homes, 825 businesses. It will provide the confidence for people to come and expand and set up their businesses in Lowestoft. There are great and exciting opportunities ahead of us, as we've seen with Associated British Ports, exciting new plans for the port. It is a scheme that is very complicated, and there is a team who've been working incredibly hard on this. Coastal Partnerships East, which is an amalgamation, East Suffolk Council, Great Yarmouth Council and North Norfolk Council, they've actually come together and actually lead the way around the UK in pioneering the defences of our coastal communities. The Environment Agency have played a vitally important role. Not least, it's taken us 8 years to get to this stage, during which many of our hearts have been in our mouths. What happens if there is a surge in the meantime? They've provided those temporary defences which we have had to sort of bring into play on a couple of occasions, but thankfully we've got away with it. But the special thanks for them for putting those measures there. Also, special thanks to Associated British Ports and all the other businesses who've been so understanding as well, and to Suffolk County Council, who have overseen the pluvial and fluvial works. So it's a very, very special day. Very many special thanks to all of you for all you've done to get us to this stage. And, you know, I'm delighted to be here to help with you to put that first shovel in the ground. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So that we can hear you, you'll need to come forward to your mic.
Speak into that one. Okay, hello everybody. I'm Councillor David Ritchie and I'm Chairman of the Project Board for this project. I'm delighted that we've got to this important step of groundbreaking for the tidal walls. It is a complex project and it's a long-term project. Lowestoft has never had protection from tidal flooding. This has long been a concern, and as we heard from Peter Aldous, the MP, in 2013 we had the tidal surge, and the tide can just enter Lake Lothing. It can come straight into Lake Lothing, the inner harbour, and this is what happened in 2013. The tide came in, the water rose and it flooded over the key headings, damaging, as we've heard, much of the town. This concentrated the mines. So we thought, what can be done? Who can do it? Who will step up to make a difference? So in 2014, East Suffolk Council, we got together with all our colleagues, many of them are here, and our funders and Suffolk County Council, and we set up the Lowestoft Flood Risk Management Project. So important to the project is Coastal Partnership East, our shared coastal management organisation with North Norfolk and Great Yarmouth. And they're the team that has been driving this project forwards. For the last few years, they've worked hard, they've been innovative, they've been inventive, and they've gone the extra mile. And I would just pick out, I can see over there, Paul Mackey, our funding guru, Tamsin Pope, who is our engineering lead, Karen Thomas, leadership, leads the team, and Sharon Blees, communications and management, who's organised the day today for us. We've reached an interesting stage, but the big work is ahead of us. We have the tidal walls to build. We are working on the detailed design for the barrier and the permissions for the barrier. If you think about the tidal barrier, the entrance to Lake Lothing, it's over 30 metres wide, and in essence it seems to be a simple project because the barrier will be like giant lock gates, and when they are closed they will hold back the tide so that it cannot enter Lake Lothing, something King Canute could not do. But it is a massive engineering project. The size and scope of it, it's something that's never been done before. The way I like to think of it is, you've got the giant lock gates, if you like, and they open and close within a U-shaped concrete frame. There are 4 elements of that frame, and each of those elements will weigh 2,500 tons. 2,500 tons. That is the weight of 60 fully loaded articulated lorries. Imagine you're working in the entrance to a working port and you've got to manoeuvre bits of concrete on that scale. It is a massive, massive undertaking, and I can see around Balfour Beatty are with us today. I have great confidence in our contractors, and as Peter has said before me, these tidal walls should be completed towards the end of next year, and the tidal barrier, the whole project, will be in place by 2026. This will provide the basis for all the positive projects in Lowestoft. This will underpin the success of what is already a successful town. Finally, Peter, I would like to thank you, Peter Aldous, our MP. He's been closely involved in the project from the very beginning. He's given us every help he possibly can, and we have needed him at times. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, everybody.
Hello, good afternoon everybody. I'm James Reader, Councillor James Reader for Suffolk County Council. It's really quite apt that I'm here today on behalf of Matthew Hicks, who asked if I would actually come to the ceremony. On the 6th of May last, I was elected as the Divisional County Councillor for Gunton. Previously I was in Alton, but I've moved to Gunton, and this is my patch. This is where people will be talking to me about their difficulties. So it's really, I'm really pleased that I'm able on this really windy occasion to be able to be here. But Peter and David have said so much, but I really would like to use my little opportunity to thank the passion. I mean, David's passion on this particular project is absolutely phenomenal, and I do know, as David has said, that Peter has been instrumental in finding those millions of pounds that, in addition to East Suffolk and the LEP and Suffolk County Council, have put forward. And I think without Peter's tenacity, I was with another MP that's not so far away from here the other day, and she commented on the work that Peter had put in to be able to secure that. So that is really good. Also, if I can remember the 2013 floods, I remember walking down at about 6 o'clock at night just to see how far it come up, because previously I did have run a business for the Chad family within town, and I was very conscious to see how far it had come up. And when I walked down London Road North and it had got to the post office, that was alarming. Also at the time I was actually chair of the Lowestoft and Waveney Chamber of Commerce, and I remember during the afternoon that we had the call where we needed to evacuate, and we needed to make sure that all their computer equipment, their offices on Waveney Road there. Very, very fortunately, the chamber was just saved by a step, no bigger than that, but that saved it. That step is one of the real headaches for the chamber, because to get into the building, etc. But on that night, it actually saved us. But the water actually, as you all know, came around it. But also, I think really, really significant, as Peter and David have already mentioned, that the work that had been done on Kirkley Stream, which we now know is coming to an end, is absolutely essential for those residents there who have actually had a miserable time, but now has been secured. So, as Peter and David have said, it's a really good day for Lowestoft. Actually, Lowestoft has got a good number of years of really great opportunity with the bridge, with other things that are happening. I think Lowestoft have got that opportunity. But this sort of programme of this flood defence is absolutely crucial, because without it, the confidence of the businesses to come here and to keep here would not have been possible. So I'd just like to end by saying thank you very, very much indeed to everybody who has contributed, and particularly with the funding aspect, which we know is so crucial. So thank you very much indeed.
Hello everyone, this is actually my very first opportunity to speak in person at an event, as I took over as chair of New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership during the pandemic. I'm delighted that it's such a calm, sunny, wind-free day for the occasion, that's for sure. So on behalf of New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership, I'm delighted to join you all here today as works begin for this important project for Lowestoft. The work, as you know, is of vital importance to the town, protecting businesses, homes and infrastructure from the kind of flooding we saw in 2013. This town, built around water, the sea, Lake Lothing and the Broads, provide vital assets, but also big challenges. So it's great to see this flood defence scheme starting at the same time as the work for the new third crossing, helping the town's residents and visitors live, work, learn and flourish now more than ever before. Businesses need certainty to be able to grow and flourish, and this scheme will provide that, making sure employment, development sites around the town are protected into the future. We are delighted to have been able to grant 10 million from our growth deal along with government to support this project. And our growth deal, which provides 290 million of investment into the region, sets out to improve infrastructure and to provide an environment where businesses and our people can flourish. Projects like this will help that for decades to come. We at New Anglia are pleased to be playing a part in delivering this investment to Lowestoft, with funding recently announced through the Towns Fund, as well as additional support from the Heritage Action Zones. There are many exciting projects on the cusp of being delivered here in Lowestoft, and I look forward to seeing them come to life and deliver ongoing economic benefit for the town and the wider region. Thank you all.
Good morning all, and I won't keep you too long in the wind. My name's Paul Hayden. I chair the Regional Flood and Coastal Committee, and for those who don't know what one of those is, we're an independent body that oversees the work of the Environment Agency and others, and we give consent to the Environment Agency's programme of work. We go from North Norfolk right the way down to the London barrier, so it's quite a big patch. And to be honest, for me to get money to spend on the London barrier, 9 billion that's being spent in protecting London and the Thames estuary, that's almost a simple job. Finding the money to protect Lowestoft has always been a challenge, because consistently it fell just below the trigger point that unlocked a lot of money. I take a fairly simple view on things. There are problems, there is money, and there are solutions. Aligning all three is really difficult, and it's only happened here in Lowestoft due to the hard work and the partnership of many, many people. after the 2013 floods, we actually bought our committee. We held our regional committee meeting in the yacht club across the way, and after our meeting we took councillors from Essex, from Tilbury, down on the outer London boroughs, from North Norfolk. We walked them around the town, we showed them the challenges that we faced, and they committed our locally raised money into the breach. When we couldn't get all of these big pots of money until someone jumps first, we could use that locally raised, locally controlled money as the seed corn that's enabled this work to go on. And again, I would support everything that's been said by other speakers, that for us this isn't just a flood defence. This is about regeneration, it's about growth, and it's about hope for Lowestoft. So it's I'm just about to step down from my RFCC role, but I just coincidentally happen to live locally as well, so I shall be watching this project very closely, and I look forward to seeing it completed. So thank you all very much.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you can hear me. I'm Stephen Baker. I'm the Chief Executive at East Suffolk Council, and I've been asked to make some final comments for today. Rowan Atkinson does a sketch which he calls The Father of the Bride, and in that he uses the line, I'm going to give this speech much as my wife sang in the service, with no real notes, and you can understand why, given the weather we're in. We've heard lots of thank yous, and all of those thank yous and thanks bear repeat, because this is a massive partnership project. Everybody here has played an enormous part, and I thank you all for that, especially the team from CPE, but also everybody else that's here. There's also been reference made to 2013 and the surge and the impact of the floods. I wasn't in Lowestoft because I was down the road at Gold Command, but watching that happen to Lowestoft, watching those businesses get ruined, watching people's homes get flooded, believe me, it really wrenched and hit hard and deep. And this is why this project is so important to all of us and what's going to happen. I don't think there's anything more for me to say other than to say thank you very much for coming, and I think the next thing is for those with spades to go over and take part in a further photo opportunity. But for that, thank you very much, everybody, and on behalf of East Suffolk Council, be very proud of what it is you're achieving here today and what we're going to achieve in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello again everybody. On our agendas, this was put down as an additional item because we didn't want to tell Paul Hayden what we're up to. I'm here with my colleague from Norfolk, Councillor Angie Fitch-Tillett, who is also chairman of Coastal Partnership East. Now, down in Suffolk at the Coast Forum, where I'm chairman, we have an annual conference. Last year, obviously, it was cancelled, so we weren't able to give out the Sue Allen Awards to people who've made the biggest contribution on our coast and estuaries. Well, the Sue Allen Award now is a Norfolk and Suffolk award, and we didn't tell Paul, but this is a perfect opportunity to present Paul, his hat's just blown away, with a Lifetime's Achievement Award, for the contribution he has made to the coast and estuaries. And I'll hand over to Angie.
Well, good morning everybody. It's lovely to be here. I'm just about to hand over my chairmanship of Coastal Partnership East, but also Paul is also a colleague of mine, and I would say a very good friend, as we've both served together on the Regional Flood and Coastal Committee for several years. He's had a huge impact along the East Anglian coast. As you know, he's explained, he oversees the Environment Agency and the work and the funding that comes through DEFRA from central government towards our coastal schemes. It's taken us a very long time, if you've heard, to get this one off the ground, but we've also had other very big schemes along the coast. Certainly in Norfolk and Suffolk we had Backton Sandscaping 2 years ago, and I think he is the most worthy recipient of this award, and I'm so pleased that it is now Norfolk and Suffolk combined together. Thank you everybody. Oh, I think I'm going to be blown off the podium. I'm hanging on for dear life here.
Well done.
No, it was completely unexpected, but very much welcomed, and especially knowing the work that Sue had done, it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. And in the words of the great philosopher Vinnie Jones, if any of you know the ex-footballer, it's been emotional. Thank you.
Virtual handshake.
Could you please gather together, obviously at a distance? Sharon's got some organisation for us to do in respect of site visits. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Councillor Matthew Hicks, leader of Suffolk County Council, which has been a significant funder to this excellent team effort to reduce the risk of flooding in Lowestoft. I'm delighted that the work on the tidal flood wall is now getting underway, and the scheme will improve protection for hundreds of existing homes and businesses. But it will also give people the confidence to bring their families and businesses to settle and invest in the town further. These are exciting times for Lowestoft. As part of this project, the County Council has led work with partners to reduce flood risk from rivers and rainfall for over 150 homes across the town, which I'm pleased to say is very nearly now complete. We've also recently started work on the Gull Wing, and the town centre has its master plan. And with the tidal defence work now underway, I'm truly excited for the future of Lowestoft and its residents.
The Lowestoft Flood Risk Management Project is critical for the town, and this is another hugely important milestone. Residents and businesses have been adversely affected by major flooding events, and this scheme is going to provide certainty for tens of thousands of people. I could not be more delighted that East Suffolk Council is leading on a project of this scale. We've been able to take advantage of a fantastic funding award from the government, and the future for Lowestoft is looking very bright indeed.
Okay, everybody, we've been asked to do a bit of an introduction to the more technical aspects of the project for you, and to give you a little bit of the backstory about what our team, Coastal Partnership East, has been doing with our colleagues at East Suffolk Council, and also with our partners Balfour BTs. And apparently this is being live streamed, so exciting stuff for us, and my colleague Tamsin and I are going to give you a bit of background now. So I'm Karen Thomas and I head up Coastal Partnership East. Really privileged to be part of this project. The scheme for Lowestoft is a really unique project nationally in terms of construction. We've been blessed with a significant amount of funding from the Green Recovery Fund, from DEFRA, and also from the Local Enterprise Partnership, which I think really recognises the fact that there is a real opportunity for growth in Lowestoft. And as a team, we really see this project as being, if you like, the foundation for everything else that's going to happen in Lowestoft now. I've just been reminded by my colleague Paul Mackey that the supply chain behind Lowestoft, so everything that's going on with the wind industry and everything else, there's £1 billion to the nation. That's what it's worth. And having that vulnerable flood risk management aspect it's made it so important to do this project, so that we're actually able to bring certainty and confidence to Lowestoft. So I think what I really wanted to say is that apart from the flood risk side of things, which Tamsin will talk about, this is an amazing opportunity to support everything else that's going to be going ahead in Lowestoft. We've got apprenticeships, we've got jobs and growth. There are jobs actually associated just with this project, but it's going to create more jobs and growth in a place that really needs it. And one of the things I'm really proud about as well, I think, is the fact that we've got apprenticeships coming into the team. We've got apprenticeships coming in through Balfour's, so young people are starting to get into coastal management. We've got some amazing young people, women and men, now coming through. And I think the other thing I want to say is that although a lot of people here today are engineers, it really does take a multi-skilled team to make something like this happen. And I'm really blessed to have a team that's got funding specialists, communication specialists, events management specialists. And I'm going to hand over now to Tamsin, who is our project manager and my operations manager, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the actual engineering aspects of the project.
Thank you. Thank you. Afternoon, everyone. So the Lowestoft Flood Risk Management Project is a combination of tidal flood walls as well as the tidal barrier, as was described earlier. The tidal walls are actually starting just where we are here. So just by that SLP sign at the back, that's where the flood walls will start. They will go the full length of Hamilton Road, and there'll be a combination of concrete walls and also demountable defences. So the demountable defences are where the entrances and access roads are to SLP's area, Leaf project area, and further down the road as well for SPR and QuickFit. So the demountable defences, they will only be put up when a tidal surge is predicted. The rest of the time, access will be freely available. The concrete walls will obviously be there in place the full time, and along this section here there'll be security fences added on top to maintain ABP's port security. From the end of Hamilton Road, the flood walls then tie into high ground, so we've got the natural flood defence there, and then the flood walls will start again around the ABP port entrance. There'll be some floodgates there, tying into demountable defences as well as permanent flood walls. Those defences will continue around along Waveney Road, or the A47, to opposite the train station. They will then link in with the tidal barrier structure once that tidal barrier structure is completed. And as described earlier, the flood walls will be completed all in summer next year, and the tidal barrier is looking to be completed in 2026. So once you go across the navigation channel, then we'll be picking up again with demountable defences, and there'll also be glass flood walls in front of the yacht club and along South Pier. So where the amusement arcade is at the moment, and there's the blue railings, preventing views of the marina. That will be replaced by a glass flood wall, which will make the whole vista so much better. That will then tie into a floodgate, which will go across the South Pier, and that's the end. So yes, it's the challenge for this project is going to be the actual tidal barrier side of things. As you're aware, Lowestoft's got a narrow port entrance. We need to maintain navigational access to the port at all times. So the logistics and construction phase of the tidal barrier is going to be very challenging, and actually the first in the UK, whilst maintaining navigation, delivering a tidal barrier. Thank you for lasting with the wind. It's lovely to see you all. Thanks very much.